trying to say something that's like so specific. I just didn't realize this until I became an adult now. Romantically, sexually, I have such a specific type. And not only that, but like, you know how like a lot of times lesbians grow up reading, like having crushes on fictional guys, but then they don't actually have a crush on real men? I definitely did that. I had crushes on like a lot of like very feminine guys. And it's just, I think the reason that I had crushes on like these super nerdy, always very nerdy and very like submissive type guys, let's just put it that way, and very feminine type guys, all those bottoms, right? But like one reason that I was very into those guys was because they held these...
In a quarter mile, keep right to stay on South I-35 frontage road.
Because they held these qualities that I'm about to list that I look for in a partner. And this is very vulnerable, but it's like, I don't hear anybody else, and maybe like...
Keep right to stay on South I-35 frontage road.
Talking about your type is like very... I don't know, I feel like I have such a strange type. But it's like, I like these guys because they possess these qualities that I look for in a person. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I like to be able to talk to someone that I'm flirting with and dating very explicitly. Like, I like to be very objectifying. I'm just gonna put it that way, out there. I like to objectify my partners. And of course I don't mean that in like a real objectification way, right? I don't actually see my partners as objects, but I like to be able to have our friendship and our romantic connection, and then have a big part of our life where I'm like, you know, I'm like talking about how hot your body is. Like I'm able to objectify you essentially in like a lot. And I know theoretically lots of women love this, but for the most part in my experience, I've had such a hard time dating cis women because, yeah, they'll say that they want that, but then when you do it, they'll freak out. And then you ask them, was that actually okay? And they actually don't really want to talk about it or tell you, like they can't actually talk about sex. And so I'll just say, so the most successful relationships I've had have all been with trans people.
So we're talking about the union E of E with P. It's the union of 2, 4, 6 with P, which is 2, 3, 5. And that is the set that has elements that are in.
I've read a lot of really cool stuff recently, but one of them was that just really clicked. One of them was that autistic people have a lot more chronic pain. But another one of them that just clicked for me is like why autistic people need to stim so much, and why when I don't do those activities I feel more crazy or something like that. It's really related to the fact that if you're not able to, like, trauma develops when you're not able to fully enact, like when you fully express yourself. Like when you have a fear response or stress or anxiety or happiness or anything that's in your body and you're not able to express, that it develops into trauma. And so for a lot of autistic people, their nervous systems are just way more sensitive. And so they actually have to be expressing a lot more. And then when they're in situations where they manage to not stim or mask, they can have a lot of pain and get really, really sick because they're basically just storing trauma in their body all the time. So celebrate your autistic friends stimming. PSA. I'm so sick. Today I did school, but as much of school as I could have, and I worked on my website, which I'm very excited about. And I have the worst headache. I'm really worried that I won't get to start school, work next week because they're waiting for a background check, and I'm really worried that I won't have the money. I paid through school, even though it's on credit, and I'm just worried that I won't have the money for rent, but I do, and bills and all these things, and be able to get a new car. But I do have rent through February. Everything's always pending, you know? So like March, I could get my tax refund, and that could cover pretty much everything for March. And then I just have April and May, which could theoretically be covered by the money I would make at this job that's gonna start, plus a few extra $100, which surely I could pull out of the woodwork somewhere, and or maybe have another job by then. So I did make progress today, and I also kind of mapped out what I have to do for the rest of the week. And even though I didn't get to talk to my friends today, I got some work on my school, and I also took some time to do a little bit of like website development, which means I got to write some descriptions for some of my offerings, like somatic movement, and I did a soft launch from my website, so I'll link it below. But yeah, I got to write some of the descriptions for the seasonal circles that I hold, the tantric intimacy events, and the tantric intimacy one-on-one containers, and also just like the body-based somatic healing coaching, if you will, that the containers that I hold as well. So getting to write all of that was really cool, because it was really last year. I have some of them on here. I'll link them here, like the blogs I did leading up to the intimacy events, and talking about them, and talking about the Wheel of the Year events. But these leaves are so crunchy. Nice. But yeah, getting to write about them tonight, I just it was really grounding. I got to connect with my partner for just a little bit on the phone. We've not been able to connect much recently, but I don't know, just talking to them for like 5 minutes can make me feel a lot more connected to myself. They're a believer in the goddess as well, and so they're very focused on kind of supporting the empowerment and healing of the femininity of, I think putting in the website out there, just, it's a small step, but getting it all out on paper, so to speak, reminded me that it's real, that something really is happening. So anyway, so right now I'm sitting in the ability to be present, and really grateful for that. When you're in a time in your life when everything is anxiety, and it's really impossible to stop that from being true, and you're always living in the fear and anxiety and of the future, and the rumination or desperation for the past. The moments when you can truly be in your body and feel at peace are really valuable. So I think I'm going to go enjoy that now.
my first class of a psychology seminar. It's a very one-credit class where we're just going over some of the basics for applying to grad school, majors in psychology and jobs in psychology and everything. Mostly I'm excited about it just because we're talking about the thing that I'm interested in finally, and also because I'm getting to meet people. So, you know, it's been something I've wanted to do, meet people in my field, meet people that are trying to do what I'm trying to do. And obviously, since we're in the same course, we are. So that's very exciting. So far, I'm not so
second side. This time, I'm not going to do it with you. I'm kind of exploring as I was doing it. Find places that you can release into the movement. For example, here, where you can suspend through. Start feeling the way you can do it. A little bit more. If you feel like you know it, start playing with more of the performance quality of it. Yeah? Maybe this is the place. So you can start playing with dynamics. Maybe there's a moment. So this is a nice lovely suspension. So I like sounds a lot.
Unemployment car crash. If you haven't seen all the different vlogs in here, I lost my job really suddenly. That was paying me more than most jobs do that you don't have a college education. And so, and then my car crashed. And so I've been trying to start this new semester at Texas State. Semester number 2 since I transferred, and trying to repair my car, trying to job hunt, and just trying to adjust to life in San Marcos as a highly sensitive person and someone who's here to really came to college to study psychology and dance so that I could provide more community, spaces where people are grounded in and living in line with their authenticity, which is a weird thing to be trying to do at college here, because college is not very much in alignment for me. Some of it is, most of it's not. A lot of it is the way that I'm living has been very out of alignment, not a lot of nature time, not a lot of ability to drop into my body, and a lot more. And the last several weeks are no exception, are an extreme version of it. Just very sitting and filling out forms and trying to, it's just quite a bit. I'm really resourceful. I've started eating pretty much dried beans and sometimes eggs every single day. And then
About a couple of weeks ago, I started treating myself about every couple of weeks to like an energy bar or some chocolate. Help me study.
Yeah, well, I've been living on beans and sometimes eggs for the past couple of months, and honestly, dried beans are so underestimated. A little bit of salt and pepper and some sunny side eggs especially. I don't know. I just think people be making up stuff about how beans aren't good. They can be real good.
Calculating their probability. So the probability of the event where x equals 2 is the number of outcomes in the set where we had 2 heads over the number of outcomes in the sample space, so it's 1/4. Or likewise, since we have an event where x equals 1, we could count the number of outcomes in that event.
We also have these like more healthy like right here. Different buns on the table. And then if you'd like to spin the wheel and answer questions shaded down there, you can get a free pair of those fun little partners.